This video is intended for a general audience and can be enjoyed by all ages.
Can you get these people home? They must start back tonight.
Thomas is a tank engine who lives at a big station on the island of Sodor. He's a cheeky little engine with 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy boiler, and a short stumpy dome. He's a fussy little engine too, always pulling coaches about, ready for the big engines to take on long journeys. And when trains come in, he pulls the empty coaches away so that the big engines can go and rest. Thomas thinks no engine works as hard as he does. He loves playing tricks on them, including Gordon, the biggest and proudest engine of all. Thomas likes to tease Gordon with his whistle. "Wake up, lazy bones. Why don't you work hard like me?" One day, after pulling the big express, Gordon had arrived back at the sidings very tired. He was just going to sleep when Thomas came up in his cheeky way. "Wake up, lazy bones. Do some hard work for a change. You can't catch me." And off he ran, laughing. Instead of going to sleep again, Gordon thought how he could get back at Thomas. One morning, Thomas wouldn't wake up. His driver and fireman couldn't make him start. His fire went out and there was not enough steam. It was nearly time for the express. People were waiting, but the coaches weren't ready. At last, Thomas started. Oh dear, he yawned. He fussed into the station where Gordon was waiting. "Hurry up, you," said Gordon. "Hurry up yourself," replied Thomas. Gordon, the proud engine, began making his plan to teach Thomas a lesson for teasing him. Almost before the coaches had stopped moving, Gordon reversed quickly and was coupled to the train. "Get in quickly, please," he whistled. Thomas usually pushed behind the big trains to help them start, but he was always uncoupled first. This time, Gordon started so quickly they forgot to uncouple Thomas. Gordon's chance had come. Come on, puffed Gordon to the coaches. The train went faster and faster, too fast for Thomas. He wanted to stop, but he couldn't. Stop! Hurry, laughed Gordon. You can't get away, laughed the coaches. Poor Thomas was going faster than he had ever gone before. He was out of breath and his wheels hurt him, but he had to go on. "I shall never be the same again," he thought sadly. "My wheels will be quite worn out." At last, they stopped at a station. Thomas was uncoupled and he felt very silly and exhausted. Next, he went onto a turntable, thinking of everyone laughing at him. And then he ran onto a siding out of the way. "Well, little Thomas," chuckled Gordon, "now you know what hard work means, don't you?" Poor Thomas couldn't answer. He had no breath. He just puffed slowly away to rest and had a long drink. "Maybe I don't have to tease Gordon to feel important," Thomas thought to himself, and he puffed slowly home. One day, Edward was in the shed where he lived with the other engines. They were all bigger than Edward and boasted about it. "The driver won't choose you again," said Gordon. "He wants strong engines like us." But the driver and fireman felt sorry for Edward. "Would you like to come out today?" "Oh, yes, please," said Edward. So they lit his fire, made lots of steam, and Edward puffed away. The other engines were very cross at being left behind. Edward worked hard all day. The coaches thought he was very kind, and the driver was very pleased. "I'm going out again tomorrow," Edward told the other engines that night. "What do you think of that?" But he didn't hear what they thought, for he was so tired and happy that he fell asleep at once. Next morning, Edward woke up to find nothing had changed. Gordon was still boasting. "You watch me, little Edward, as I rush through with the express. That will be a splendid sight for you. Goodbye, little Edward. Look out for me this afternoon." Edward went off to do some shunting. He liked shunting. It was fun playing with freight cars. He would come up quietly and give them a push. Then he would stop, and the silly freight cars would go bump into each other. "Oh!" they cried. "Whatever is happening?" Edward played till there were no more freight cars. Then he stopped to rest. Presently, he heard a whistle. Gordon was cross. Instead of nice shining coaches, he was pulling a dirty freight train. "A freight train, a freight train, a freight train," he grumbled. "The shame of it, the shame of it, oh, the shame of it." Edward laughed and went to find some more freight cars. Then there was trouble. "Gordon can't get up the hill," the porter called to Edward's driver. "Will you take Edward and push him, please?" They found Gordon halfway up and very cross. His driver and fireman were talking to him severely. "You're not trying." "I can't do it," said Gordon. "The noisy freight cars hold an engine back so." Edward's driver came up. "We've come to push." "No use at all," said Gordon. "You wait and see," replied Edward's driver. They brought the train back to the bottom of the hill. "I'm ready," said Edward. "No good," grumbled Gordon. They pulled and pushed as hard as they could. "I can't do it! I can't do it! I can't do it!" puffed Gordon. "I will do it! I will do it! I will do it!" puffed Edward. Edward pushed and puffed and puffed and pushed as hard as ever he could. And almost before he realized it, Gordon found himself at the top of the hill. "I've done it! I've done it! I've done it!" he said proudly. He forgot all about kind Edward and didn't say thank you. Edward was left out of breath and far behind, but he was happy because he had been so helpful. At the next station, he found that the driver and fireman were very pleased with him. The fireman gave him a nice long drink, and the driver said, "I'll get out my paint tomorrow and give you a beautiful coat of blue with red stripes. Then you'll be the smartest engine in the shed." Every year, on the date of the accident, it runs again as a warning to others, plunging into the gap, shrieking like a lost soul. Percy, what are you talking about? The ghost train. Driver saw it last night. Where? Asked Thomas and Toby. He didn't say. Oh, it makes my wheels wobble to think of it. Puh, said Thomas. You're just a silly little engine. I'm not scared. Thomas didn't believe in your ghost, said Percy next morning. His driver laughed. Neither do I. It was only a pretend ghost story. Percy was disappointed. That evening, he came back from the harbor. Percy knew where he was, even in the dark. Crow's Farm Crossing. We shan't be long now. He liked running at night. The rails hummed and the signal light shone green. But a broken cartload of lime lay ahead. Sam the farmer had just gone for help. Percy broke the cart to smithereens. Lime flew everywhere. He puffed quickly to the nearest signal box. Percy's driver explained what had happened. I'll see to it, said the signalman. But you'd better clean Percy, or people will think he's a ghost. Percy chuckled. Let's pretend I'm a ghost and scare Thomas. That'll teach him to say I'm a silly little engine. Toby promised to help. Thomas was being oiled up for his evening train. Percy's had an accident, cried Toby. Poor engine, said Thomas. Botheration. That means I'll be late. They've cleared the line for you, but there's something worse. Out with it, Toby. I can't wait all evening. I've just seen something, said Toby. It looked like Percy's ghost. It said it was coming here to warn us. Puh. Who cares? Don't be frightened, Toby. I'll take care of you. Let me in! Let me in! Wailed Percy. No, not by the smoke on my chimney, chim. I'll chuff and I'll puff and I'll break your door in. Oh, dear, exclaimed Thomas. It's getting late. Oh, I'd no idea. Oh, I must find Annie and Clarabelle. It was morning when Thomas returned. Where have you been? Asked Toby. Well, said Thomas, I knew you'd be sad about Percy, and I didn't like to intrude. I slept in the freight shed and... Oh, sorry, can't stop. Gotta see a coach about a train. Percy was none the worse for his adventure and was still enjoying himself enormously. He had heard everything. Well, what do you know about that? Anyone would think, chuckled Toby, that our Thomas had just seen a ghost.
Thomas and Percy enjoy working in the docks. They like the sea air and the sound of the gulls. But one day, the friends were feeling hot and bothered. A crane was causing trouble. His name is Cranky, and this was his first day at the docks. "You're useless little bugs," he called from above. "If you put these freight cars on the inside lines, then I wouldn't have so far to travel." "Rubbish," said Thomas. "No crane has ever complained before." "Well, I'm complaining now." And Cranky banged his load down on the quayside. Later, the two engines met Gordon and James and told them about Cranky.
"Cranes are airy-fairy things. They need a lot of attention, like me, in fact," said Gordon.
"You should see the situation from Cranky's point of view," said James. He's high up in the air, coping with wind, rain, and baking sun. Then he looks down and sees you two little engines being annoying. No wonder he calls you bugs. When Cranky heard that the big engines agreed with him, he grew bossier still. Come on, push those freight cars closer to me. But Percy was too upset to concentrate and pushed the freight cars too far. Poor Percy. Then Cranky played a trick on Thomas. Push your freight cars onto the outside line. It's easier for me to load up. So Thomas did. But Cranky left the loads beside the freight cars, not in them. You must have known my arm can't reach you there, complained Cranky. This mix-up caused confusion and delay. Sir Topham Hatt was most upset.
Thomas and Percy, this new crane has an important job to do. I have heard that you have not been helping him today. You will go to your sheds and consider how you will improve yourselves tomorrow.
Now Thomas and Percy were upset too. That evening, a big storm raged across the island. Cranky and the engines were trapped at the docks. We're sure to be safe in this shed, said Duck. But he was wrong. The engines had no idea they were about to be put in great danger by an old tramp steamer. It was out of control and running aground, straight into the sheds. Called the engines from inside the shed. I can't! Called Cranky. When the storm was over, Sir Topham Hatt rushed to the scene of destruction.
Thomas and Percy will help you, he called to Cranky. And then you can help the engines.
Oh, please hurry, cried Cranky, and tell them I'm sorry I was rude to them.
So it was you, murmured Sir Topham Hatt. I owe those engines an apology.
Thomas and Percy soon came to the rescue. And it wasn't too long before Cranky was upright again and clearing the wreckage. At last, all the engines were free.
Oh, thank you, said Gordon. What would I have done without you?
Well, I had to be rescued before I could help you. But I never thought it would be by a couple of Cranky was about to say bugs, but he quickly corrected himself. Small engines, thank you. I'll never be rude again. However, you two mites are in my way, so move over. Pa, said Percy, he's back to bugging us. Don't move! You're still attached to Cranky! But it was too late. Cranky still looks down on the two little engines. But ever since that stormy night, he never calls them bugs or mites, because he knows they might bite back. Then there was trouble. As Gordon approached the new station, neither the driver nor fireman could apply his brakes. Something had jammed. The driver reduced steam, but Gordon was still going too fast.
Help me, please.
Well, Gordon, said Sir Topham Hatt, I knew you wanted a panoramic view, but this is not the way to achieve it.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
When Gordon was repaired again, he took Sir Topham Hatt to the new station for its second official opening. This time he arrived safely, and everyone clapped and cheered as he pulled in. Sir Topham Hatt spoke to him.
Your panoramic view is here to stay.
I trust you will always see through it from the safety of your own rails. Gordon heartily agreed. The next morning, Gordon raced along with his heavy load. Now this is how you pull freight cars, he puffed. But the signalman had accidentally left the points switched to the branch line. Gordon rattled through the junction. That's strange. I'm on the branch line. Oh no, the signalman cried. Express trains aren't supposed to go that way. It was too late. Gordon had already raced into the distance. The old branch line was weak and rusty. There were signs warning all the trains to go slow. But Gordon ignored the signs. I'm an express engine. I don't go slow, he said. And he went even faster. The branch line couldn't take his weight, and the rails buckled. Oh, help! Gordon cried as he slid off the tracks and into a field. No one was hurt, but poor Gordon felt very undignified. What will Sir Topham Hatt say? He groaned. He found out soon enough. Well, Gordon, said Sir Topham Hatt, you wanted to show Salty a thing or two, and you've certainly done that. You've shown him how silly it is to ignore go-slow signs. Sorry, sir, said Gordon, and he let out a sad wheesh of steam. Excited to see the jet engine. It was shiny and modern, and Thomas had never seen anything like it. He couldn't wait to start his journey, but Cranky was taking his time. Hurry up, huffed Thomas. This is a special. Cranky did not like being told what to do, especially by an engine. He became so cranky that he was careless with his hook. His hook knocked the switch, and the switch started the jet engine, and the engine began to whine. The whine got louder and louder and louder. Uh-oh, said Cranky. Before he could say anything else, the jet engine was rocketing Thomas up the track. Whoa, said Thomas. The driver tried to put on the brakes, but Thomas couldn't stop. Whoa, boy! The station master called ahead. Clear the lines! It's a runaway train! Signals were changed, and points were switched. Thomas had never been so excited. Thomas flew by James and rocketed past Henry. And raced by Percy. They were amazed. Bertie was excited when he saw Thomas flying down the track. Want to race, Thomas? Beeped Bertie. Never mind. No one had ever seen an engine go so fast. Gordon had no idea that Thomas was racing along the main line. I am the fastest, said Gordon proudly. Bye, Gordon. Bye, Gordon. Gordon could not believe what he had seen. At last, the jet engine ran out of fuel, and Thomas was back under his own power.
I'm Mr. Conductor, and I'm going to tell you a story about trains, folks far apart, and the magic railroad that brought them together. Every story, like a railroad, has its heroes. Meet Thomas. He's our #1 hero. Hello! But he's running a little late today. This is the island of Sodor, where Thomas and his friends live. It's at one end of my special universe.
Good morning. Hello, James. Morning, Toby. Hey, wait up.
Thomas puffed slowly up to the bridge. "Well done, Thomas!" the workman cried. Thomas was pleased to be there. He was looking forward to a rest. But there was another job to be done. The bridge section needed to be lowered into place. "I'll do it," Diesel oiled. "I'm the strongest. Much stronger than this steamy." "No, let Thomas try," the foreman said. "He's already proven how strong he is. He pushed the bridge section all by himself." Thomas was very proud. Diesel was cross. The workmen attached lots of cables to Thomas. Thomas slowly took up the strain, but the section was heavy. His wheels slipped. The workmen were worried.
Thomas chuffed slowly toward the bridge. The bridge looked very old, and it was very high, and the ravine was very deep. Thomas could hear rocks falling into the ravine. He felt a little scared. "I like high bridges, but this one is really high. If I chuff slowly, I'll reach the other side before I know it," he puffed bravely. Wheel turn by wheel turn, Thomas edged onto the bridge. "I am brave and I am strong. I'll get to the wharf and it won't take long," he chuffed to himself. Thomas was now halfway across the bridge. The sound of the falling rocks was louder and louder. The bridge had started to shudder and shake. Thomas didn't like it at all, but he wanted to get to the other side. Then Thomas heard a mighty crack. Part of the bridge in front of him came away from the rocks. "Cinders and ashes!" cried Thomas. "I must get back to safety." He was very scared. Then Thomas started to reverse. He puffed slowly and carefully. Then there was another mighty crack. A large piece of the broken bridge fell down into the ravine below. With the biggest puff he had ever huffed, Thomas pushed backwards onto the hillside. "I'm safe," he cried. Just as the last part of the bridge groaned and swung over the deep ravine. Thomas peered down to the broken bridge below. "Oh, flatten my funnel," he gasped.
He's a really useful engine, you know. All the other engines, they'll tell you so. He huffs and puffs and whistles, rushing to and fro. He's the really useful engine we adore.
Oops, sorry.
He's the one.
Oh.
He's the one. He's the really useful engine that we adore. He's the one. He's the one you know. Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, that
That's very useful, isn't it? Having another small engine to get in the way.
He's still learning, Gordon. I'm just showing him what to do. Thomas!
He's a really useful engine, you know. Maybe little, but he's never slow. Stand back in amazement, just you watch him go. He's the really useful engine we adore. He's the one. He's the one. He's the really useful engine that we adore. He's the one. He's the one you know. Thomas the Tank Engine.
Watch this.